Once upon a time, nestled in a quiet village surrounded by rolling green hills, lived a humble farmer named Kofi. Every single day, from sunup to sundown, Kofi toiled on his small plot of land. He poured his sweat and hopes into the soil, but the earth seemed stubborn. No matter how diligently he worked, his harvests were always meager, barely enough to sustain him. Yet, through it all, Kofi never let a word of complaint pass his lips. He was a man of quiet faith, a firm believer that patience and relentless hard work would eventually, one day, be rewarded with good fortune. He just had to keep going. One evening, as the sun began its descent, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Kofi was making his final rounds in the field. His hoe, a familiar extension of his own arms, suddenly struck something hard buried in the soil. The metallic clink was unusual. Curious, he set his tool aside and knelt down, gently brushing away the dark, cool earth. And there, nestled in his palm, was something extraordinary. It was a tiny seed, but unlike any he had ever seen. It wasn't brown or black. It was pure gold, and it shimmered with an inner light in the fading sunlight. Kofi held it up, mesmerized. It was so small, yet it felt heavy with promise. He had spent his entire life working the land, but he'd never encountered anything like this. Perhaps, he whispered to the evening air, this is a special seed, a seed of hope. A small smile touched his lips. I will plant it and see what happens. With the utmost care, as if handling a precious jewel, he chose the richest, most fertile spot in his entire field. He dug a small hole, placed the golden seed inside, and covered it with soil. From that day on, he tended to it with even greater devotion than his other crops, watering it faithfully every single day, watching and waiting. Days turned into a week, and then another. Just as Kofi's hope was beginning to mingle with doubt, a tiny sprout pushed its way through the soil. But this was no ordinary plant. From the very first leaf that unfurled, Kofi knew it was magical. The leaves didn't just reflect the sunlight. They seemed to hold it, sparkling like polished gold. The village children would sometimes stop by the edge of his field, their eyes wide with wonder at the glittering little plant. The plant grew at an astonishing pace. Within weeks, what started as a tiny sprout had transformed into a magnificent tree. Its trunk was sturdy and smooth, and its branches reached towards the sky, shimmering and dancing in the wind as if adorned with countless tiny mirrors. The entire field seemed to be bathed in a soft, warm glow emanating from this single, incredible tree. It became a beacon of beauty in the quiet village. And then the true miracle began. Small buds appeared on the branches, and soon they blossomed not into flowers, but into fruits, golden fruits. They hung from the branches like little suns, casting a radiant light that could be seen from afar. They were perfectly formed, smooth, and heavy. Kofi stood beneath the tree, his heart filled with a sense of awe he had never known. The reward for his patience had finally arrived in a form more spectacular than he could have ever imagined. With a trembling hand, Kofi reached up and gently plucked one of the golden fruits. It was warm to the touch, and its weight was substantial. He knew he couldn't keep this wonder to himself. The next morning, he carefully wrapped the fruit in a soft cloth and took it to the village market. As he unwrapped it, a collective gasp went through the crowd. People gathered around, their eyes wide with disbelief. They had never seen anything so beautiful, so perfect. A wealthy merchant, known for his love of rare and exotic things, pushed through the crowd. He examined the fruit, turning it over and over in his hands, his expression a mixture of astonishment and desire. Without much haggling, he offered Kofi a large bag of silver coins, more money than Kofi had ever held in his life. For the first time, Kofi felt a sense of security. He returned home not just with money, but with a lighter heart. He bought sacks of grain, tools to repair his humble home, and new clothes. But he didn't stop there. He remembered the hungry faces in his village, the neighbors who struggled just as he had. He shared his newfound wealth, buying food for families in need and helping others repair their homes. His generosity became as well known as his magical tree, but not all hearts in the village were filled with joy for Kofi. The news of the golden tree spread like wildfire, and with it grew the green shoots of envy. Some neighbors, who had once offered him pity, now looked at his field with greedy eyes. They whispered amongst themselves, their conversations laced with jealousy. How could a poor, simple farmer like Kofi be so fortunate? One of these envious neighbors was a man named Mensa. He was known in the village for his lazy nature and his desire for quick, easy wealth. Night after night, he watched Kofi's field, his mind consumed with plots to get his hands on the golden fruit. He couldn't stand the thought of Kofi's prosperity while he had so little. One moonless night, cloaked in darkness, Mensa decided to act. He crept silently into Kofi's field, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and greed. The golden tree stood before him, its fruits glowing softly like lanterns in the dark. It was an irresistible sight. He imagined the wealth, the life of ease he would have. Licking his lips, he reached out a greedy hand and grabbed a handful of the golden fruits, pulling them from their branches. But the moment his fingers touched the tree, a strange thing happened. A tremor ran through its trunk. The branches began to shake violently, not from the wind, but from an unseen force within. All at once, every single golden fruit on the tree dropped to the ground. Mensa, startled, looked down, expecting to see a carpet of gold at his feet. But what he saw made him cry out in terror. The fruits that lay on the ground were no longer golden. They had turned into dull, grey, ordinary stones. The magic was gone. Terrified, convinced he had angered a powerful spirit, Mensa scrambled to his feet and ran away into the night, leaving the worthless stones behind. The next morning, Kofi went to his field as usual, his heart light and ready for another day. But he stopped short when he saw the scene before him. His beautiful tree was completely bare, and scattered on the ground beneath it were dozens and dozens of plain grey stones. His heart sank. Confusion and sadness washed over him. Had his good fortune ended so soon? He walked up to the tree and gently placed a hand on its smooth trunk. He had always felt a connection to it, a sense of life beyond that of a normal plant. He spoke to it softly, his voice full of sorrow. "If you are magical," he pleaded, "if you can hear me, please tell me what is wrong. What have I done?" There was no reply, only the silence of the morning. But then a soft breeze rustled the golden leaves. They whispered against each other, a sound like a gentle, sighing voice. And in his heart, Kofi understood. The tree wasn't speaking in words, but in feeling, in knowledge. It seemed to say, gold grows only for those with a generous heart. The message was clear. The tree's magic was tied not to the soil or the sun, but to the nature of the person who tended it. Its gifts were not for the greedy or the selfish. A deep understanding settled over Kofi. He wasn't angry at the thief. He felt a sense of pity. From that day forward, Kofi's resolve only strengthened. He continued to work his land, and slowly, miraculously, new golden fruits began to grow on the tree. He continued to share his harvest, not just the money from the market, but the golden fruits themselves, giving them to those in need. His generosity transformed the village. With the wealth from the tree being shared, the entire community began to prosper. Homes were rebuilt, children were well fed, and a spirit of cooperation and kindness bloomed. The jealous neighbors, including Mensa, witnessed this transformation. They saw that Kofi's wealth didn't just enrich him, it enriched everyone. They slowly learned a profound lesson, a truth that the golden tree had taught them all. True wealth, the kind that lasts and brings real happiness, doesn't come from greed or from taking from others. It comes from kindness, from a generous heart, and from sharing what you have. And so the golden tree continued to shine in Kofi's field for many, many years, a glowing symbol of generosity and a reminder that the greatest treasures are not made of gold, but of goodness. Thanks for watching. I hope this story brought a little bit of magic to your day. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more stories like this one. See you next time.